We start seeing things put together and kludged together, but again, remember, we're at this time that it's experimentation. It's building things, it's adding things together, it's trying new things. This is a version of a headset that does take the, before Apple decided AR was cool, added a forward-looking sensor, and suddenly you have this, room scale capable device. But a kludge. Love the folks who put this together, but it's still a science experiment. And I could argue that a lot of what we're doing today with headsets are still science experiments. I love the folks at Vive, I really do. But that is not the most ergonomically friendly device I've ever put on my head. It's not bad. I put it on, I enjoy it. But when you think about a broad mainstream consumer, this is the headset that goes at the Void, which is one of the new arcades. Get a little more comfortable, but still heavy, bulky. You're thinking about, we're at a point in time. We're moving through this time. Where are we at? How can you make that better? And those people are playing, oh, it's too bulky, who would ever want to? Yep, I get that. Solve the problem. That's the issue right now. Solve the problem. And there's some fantastic stuff coming along. I see a guy wearing sunglasses over there. Those are actually, augmented reality, virtual reality glasses. You don't know that, but he's just, tuned them so the opacity is really light. He just wants some information because he walked in and he's like, who's that speaker? He goes, oh, that's John Kenny. Right? Yeah, he may go fully opaque because he's decided it's John Kenny. He doesn't really want to pay attention, and now he's just going to watch TV. That's okay. That's what we start to think about. Now, everybody do this. Take out your cell phone for a second. Yeah, I know. It's the interactive portion. I make you do things. You think I'm bad, wait till Ted talks. All right, hold your cell phone up like this. Great, do that for the next hour. How comfortable is that going to be, right? That is the, you can put that down, sir, it's okay. Yeah. Somebody actually took me seriously. That is the state of things like augmented reality today. Hey, everybody's going to walk around like this. No, they're not. But we got to do that step, right? We can't ignore that step. We got to try it. That is going to be the most mass market device, is the most mass market device we have out there for consumption. But is it the best one yet? No. Not unless you do like doing this. And it's even worse when you realize if you're holding your phone up, depending if you put it out here, then you get to see the rest of the world around it, and you're looking through this small little window, and then you put it up like this, and this is not any more comfortable. So thinking about those things, solving those hard problems. But we're on that path to do that, and that's the amazing thing. This is where we're going, right? This is the HoloLens. Like, we all want to get to that moment where we can just walk into an environment, and it's a different environment. But that's the science fiction part. But we've got to aspire to something like that. We can't just sit around and say, we're good enough, because we're not. Like, if I take this room and say you're all in the business, the rest of the world, which is a much giant population, still doesn't get it, can't afford it, can't set it up, and doesn't find it comfortable when they do it. We just have to think about that. We have to move through that. One thing I am really excited about, I'm excited about a lot of things, frankly, but the one thing that I think is fascinating and to look at is that VR is entering that new arcade moment. We're seeing arcade centers pop up, IMAX VR in the Grove. Is it perfect? No. But it is a place where a random consumer can go and experience high fidelity experiences on some headsets they wouldn't afford, and they won't be able to afford for a while, or want to. But they can go get these kind of experiences. They can taste it and go, how am I going to get some of that at home? We can experiment with those. We can do things in those places that we wouldn't necessarily do at home. I have news for you. Every amusement park, every major company that owns an amusement park is scratching their head going, well, this is just an extension of a ride, or we can make a new experience, right? So that's where we're going to see some really interesting things, because you can push the boundary. You can make the hardware really expensive. You can make things that would require little supercomputers underneath your desk to run. And that's okay, because they're going to charge 10, 15 bucks. You're going to go through it, but so is everybody else. So things like the Void.
3, 2...
and shoot those targets.
Portal opening in 3, 2,
All right, stepping through the portal. So that's just a little slice. Now that is old, actually. That is, I don't know, Ted, what do you say? That's 4 years old now, 2 years?
Yeah, 3 or more years.
Yeah. I mean, that's old school. But what they are doing in that experience, and they're just going to amp up more, and there's any number of companies, several based here in town, that are building these experiences, right? It's all about what they do is they set you up, they give you a briefing, you put on this gear, and then they slowly transition you into this world that is, you know, they want to trick out your brain. Like if you just go walk into a place, put on a bunch of gear and start shooting, it's not the same thing. Think about how Disney does it. You walk into a Disney amusement park, they are immersing you in that environment, right? They are taking your brain and walking you into the make-believe. Things like this, you got to treat it the same way. I recently did one of their Ghostbusters experiences. I'll spoil the story. You wind up blowing up the giant marshmallow man. Sorry. And sure enough, you could smell burnt marshmallow. I think that's awesome, right? It's that subtle little cue. It's that smell. It's the physical, the haptic vests that rumble when the ghost goes through you and you can feel something. These kind of experiences really are amazing and they're immersive. They really take you to that moment. So starting to do that, the kinds of equipment, again, thinking about the haptics, thinking about the immersion, it all starts to come together in this kind of experience. But this is what we're seeing right now. And this is where folks are making investments right. High-end entertainment experiences will be there. Companies like, you know, the modular systems, the mobile VR systems. Set it up in this room, you know, play a VR environment in this room. I've seen even lower-end versions that are just simple arcade games, simple headsets, iPhones in them, and people are playing sort of a sci-fi volleyball competition. So this is an example of it. People in the room, what they actually see. So taking that, making a shared group experience, taking that entertainment to that next level. And content. Gaming, the no-duh area for this for a lot of years, but still, how do you make a gaming experience that much better in this environment? How does a gamer enjoy it, and how do you go beyond the set of core hardcore gamers and bringing interesting immersive experiences? I often say with content, if you think about shooting something or creating something, and you can think about doing it in a different way than an immersive 360 experience, then maybe it should be that way. I've seen, there was one gentleman that said 2016 was the year of because we can, and there was a lot of things that you saw that were created that I call the gratuitous VR moment or the gratuitous 360. Did it really need to be that? No, but it was fun. We had a camera, we did it. In 2017, 2018, we're hoping that we get there because we should, that we have thoughtful thoughts about making worthwhile content that when you're in it, it has that no-duh moment. When I work on pitches, I'll talk to someone, and if I pitch it, they go, oh yeah, you know you're onto something. If they have that moment of like, wow, that would be amazing, then you know you're onto something. Think about that when you're creating that kind of content. Experiences like Mr. Robot, where they're actually digging into a narrative. You can go back and forth, and there's a lot of academic arguments of, did it need to be in VR? Maybe not. But it was a mainstream director tackling with major IP and major character, sitting down and making a narrative and thinking thoughtfully about how he was going to do it. We have had long debates about this one, but Gnomes and Goblins. Is it a video game? Is it a narrative experience? Pushing on both of those, trying to play with that boundary. You see these kind of experimentations. What you're also seeing is you're seeing mainstream content people tackle it and try to wrap their brains around it. Some more successfully than others. You know, this year, proud to say that the TV Academy gave 2 different Emmys out to 2 different VR experiences. Definitely different experiences, one from Felix and Paul, one from the Google Story team. If you've seen Pearl, if you haven't seen Pearl, I highly recommend it. I think it's a beautiful, amazing experience, and it's not too complicated, but it does work, and it's got some interesting subtleties to it. So we're starting to play with this content. We're starting to think about why we want to use it, how we're going to use it, along with the people, like my friend down there, who have to help solve how you're going to get access to it. But this is also what I love about this experience. There is a VR piece out there called Everest. Now, how many people have been to base camp in Nepal? Wow, at least one. Then I suspect that no one's been to the top of Everest and never been to base camp. Hello? This is going to take you there. Now, is it going to be exactly the experience? No. But I have dear friends that have had that experience, and that is not for everyone. But this is going to take you to some place you conceivably may never go in the world, and to give you amazing experiences. And that is what I love about this. That is what my friends here are going to talk about today. It's what you're going to talk about is, what are we doing with this that is transformational, that is experiential, and takes us to places we've never been before. Thank you very much.